Hello subscribers and non-subscribers, and welcome to another monthly channel update video. This one is obviously for November 2016. A couple things I want to talk about in this one. As per usual, there's obviously things I want to talk about. First thing I want to go and mention, I'm going to be away the week of Thanksgiving, so there will likely be no videos uploaded whatsoever that week. And of course that also means no streams or anything of that nature happening that week. And in that case, I'm going on a trip to go and visit family. So yeah, and I mean, well, I'll have internet. It's not necessarily the greatest, nor is it really something I would go and call reliable. So yeah, it's just easier to go and basically say, don't expect any videos, honestly don't even really expect comment responses, more than likely. But yeah, so that's that. The next thing I want to talk about is shortly after doing the October channel update video, I discovered a new setting that I have no idea when it arrived there. Not sure if it's something that YouTube themselves added or if it's something that I got access to after having partnered with Curse and it took a little while to show up. I'm not quite sure, but either way, it is an option to either enable or disable interest-based ads. In fact, it's actually labeled as disable interest-based ads. So if I were to check it, you guys would get just any random old ad. But I have it not checked, and thus you're going to get ads based around your interests, which I presume Google figures out what your interests are and what ads to give you based off of, basically, I presume what you Google search and possibly the kinds of YouTube videos that you watch. But yeah, so since I have it unchecked, you guys get, as I said, ads based around your interests, or at least you should.
We have lost the sector.
And so, for those of you guys that use AdBlock for the sole purpose of avoiding ads that are not to your interest, I'd appreciate it, and I mean, I can't force you to do it, but I'd appreciate it nonetheless if you were to whitelist my channel, because you should, for the most part, be getting ads based around your interests, or at least what Google thinks is to your interest based off Google searches and possibly the kinds of YouTube videos that you watch. But of course, in reality, you guys doing that is only a couple of extra cents. I'm not really getting a whole lot extra from, say, I don't know, a couple hundred people, will say, disabling their ad block on my channel. That's, in reality, not going to be a whole lot. Probably an extra $1, maybe $2. That's about it. Of course, in reality, the best way to actually support the channel if you enjoy my content is to head on over to my Patreon. And I've got a couple of tiers over there, and of course I've also got goals. So the tiers themselves are, so the reward tiers are $1, $5, I think it's 15, 20, and then 40? Let me pull it up to actually check that. I think that's what it is. 15 might actually be 10. Let me see. Okay, yeah, it's 1, 5, 15, 20, 40. Those are the reward tiers. I will say this. For most people, I presume that the only real reward tier there that holds any real value for most people is probably the $1 or more. Well, just the $1 tier. That one gives what I call AdBlock amnesty, which is just kind of whatever. It's just kind of there. You also get access to anything that I post for just Patreons. So if I say, okay, well, only my patrons can see this post, you guys are the ones that'll be able to see it. Of course, you'll also be able to see any posts that I make for specifically the $1 tier. But of course, if I make a post for the $5 tier, you won't be able to see it. But the $5 tier has different rewards. Although it comes with all the same stuff as the $1 tier, it's just that it might not be something that interests everybody. But it also comes with early access to my normal weekly videos. So the stuff that I normally upload Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So American Civil War, Brothers vs. Brothers, Tom Clancy's End War, Star Trek Online, Chaos Head, those things. So far the only one I've actually been able to, so far the only one that I haven't, it's easier to do, that I haven't been able to actually post early enough is Star Trek Online. That's because I haven't posted it in probably close to a year now. They changed their maintenance day at some point. It used to be on Thursdays. For some reason they changed it to Wednesday, and Wednesday is the day that I record Star Trek Online, or at least try to. But because they changed it to Wednesday, and it doesn't end until like 1 o'clock in the afternoon my time, I can't record it. So I haven't been able to record Star Trek Online in ages. There's really nothing I can do about that. Without completely redoing my upload and recording schedule and flipping Chaos Head and Star Trek Online. And even then, it doesn't really work because I would then have to make sure that I can record Star Trek Online on Monday. And I can't guarantee that. So again, it doesn't really matter what I do. Star Trek Online is going to be one of those very hit or miss in terms of getting content. But yeah, so it comes with early access though. It's not necessarily 24-hour early access. I try to get it up 24 hours early, but sometimes it's really only like an hour or two early. It depends, as I said. So, but I try to get it up 24 hours early, but it doesn't always work. The $5 a month tier is the same as the $1 tier. The only added bonus is that for my special videos, which as it stands right now is basically just Vehicles of War Thunder, you get those early. Again, I try for 24 hours early, but that's not a guarantee. You also get access to seeing the specs sheet and the script when I finish them up. The $15 a month tier provides all the same stuff as the earlier tiers. It just gets the added bonus of posters for the Vehicles of War Thunder stuff, and the posters themselves are stylized to kind of look like a blueprint listing some of the specifications of the vehicle.
50 attackers
but yes, so that's it. The $20 and $40 tiers are just kind of there to round out having some of the higher tier stuff. They're really nothing special. In fact, the $20 a month one is actually not good for me if you live outside the US, because it's $20 a month, but if I wanted to ship the reward there to Canada, I'm needing to pay about $30 to ship it. And get tracking info to make sure it actually gets to you. While to ship it to, say, somebody in Japan, I'm needing to pay $44 in shipping. Yeah, we're not talking plus the cost of the item itself. No, we're talking shipping alone. I'm fairly certain. At least for Japan, I'm fairly certain that's just the shipping alone. Canada, I think that's including the price of the item. I don't know, I haven't looked in, and they recently changed. Because I'd be buying it through Spreadsheet and shipping it to you guys from there. But Spreadsheet recently changed their shipping stuff, so I'm not sure how it is now. I haven't bothered looking, because, well, frankly, nobody's Patreon right now, so I haven't had much of a need to go and update some of that stuff. But yeah. And then the $40 a month tier is all the same stuff as the earlier ones. It's just you get the special added bonus of me going through the process of trying to create a graphics design and throwing the names of all 10 Patreons for that reward tier on the side of my case. Yeah, and that would only be updated every time I got a new case, which isn't going to really be that all that often, more than likely, so yeah. But that reward tier is there, and in reality, I don't need people to go for those higher tiers. The $1 a month tier is perfectly fine to allow me to do pretty much anything that I need. I do have a Excel spreadsheet that I made to help me sort of see this. So, for the first year, if all of my subscribers were to become Patreons at the $1 a month tier, so in the first year of doing this, So assuming you guys all kept it for 1 year, I would have about $4 grand, $4,314.68 left over after all expenses but before taxes. And of course, I've got about 3 grand in one-time costs. So after the first year, I'd have about 7 grand a year. I don't have anything to spend 4 grand or hell even 7 grand on. So, or that should probably be reversed. I don't have anything to spend 7 grand on or hell even 4 grand. So in reality, I don't need all 686 people to be able to do everything that I want, as I said. Probably even just 400, and for the first year, that'd be perfectly fine. So, I mean, if I do the math, put it in, say just 400 of you guys went to the $1 a month tier, I'd have about $1 grand for the first year, after all expenses, but again, before taxes. And again, I've got about 3 grand in one-time expenses. Once those one-time expenses are dealt with, I'd have about 4 grand again for all future years, assuming I kept at the 400 a month, essentially. So again, I end up in a situation where that's a lot more than I really would have anything to spend it on. So I don't need, again, all of you guys to do that. But if even just a couple of you guys do it, it adds up over time. And again, it would allow me to do special things. For example, Microsoft, during their Microsoft event, which I started watching but didn't bother finishing it because, well, frankly, it's not all that exciting to watch. Which is fine. I think they just do it because they feel like streaming it so everybody can watch, but in reality, most people don't really care for all of the specifics of it. But they announced MS Paint 3D, as well as doing, I guess, an app for phones. I'm not sure if it's going to be limited to the couple of Windows phones that are out there, or if it'll also be available on Android and iOS. Considering the way Microsoft's been, I think it'll also be available on Android and iOS, but it's not that basically allows you to go and scan a real-world object so you can get a 3D representation of it that you can bring into Paint. Now, I'm lucky, I'll be able to export that 3D representation of a real-world object into like a .obj or something, so I can use it in like Blender or hell even Adobe After Effects. And guess what this would allow me to do with Vehicles of War Thunder? I could go out, buy 3D models of planes and tanks that are in War Thunder, make a 3D representation of them using this app once it's available, and I'd be able to do some fancier things, some more high quality things with it. But as I said, that one, it requires me to go out and buy stuff. Stuff for a series that sadly in and of itself doesn't really get a whole lot of views right now, so it kind of makes it to where I can't completely justify spending money every single month or every couple of months, whichever it ends up being, to go out and buy those 3D models and then scanning them and then exporting them and then doing all the fancy stuff that I want to do with it in After Effects. That's where Patreon comes in hand. It would allow me to have the money to go and do all of that stuff. It also, over time, allowed me to get the money to go and build a rendering PC if enough people were to subscribe there. Or enough people were to become patrons. And again, you don't have to go with the higher tiers. You can go with the $1 a month, and I'm pretty sure you'll get pretty much everything that you care about for the majority of you guys. And so yeah, as I said, that's there. I will have a link as per usual, and I have a link in all of my videos. Well, all the videos that I've had since I launched my Patreon. Better way to say it. Because some of my older videos don't have it, because frankly I don't feel like going back to do it for like 300 videos from like 5 years ago. Or whatever it is. That's, no, too much of a pain to do that, personally. And so yeah. my more recent videos within the past couple years all have a link to my Patreon in their description, and all future videos will continue to have a link to my Patreon in the description, just like this video will. So if any of you guys feel like heading on over there and become a Patreon, that would be appreciated. The $1 tier also has a, it also gets you tossed into my Discord thing. I created a Discord chat for patrons. I personally don't really use Discord right now. I don't have any body, is the best way to put it, to use it with. Because I play predominantly PC, but most of my friends are console, so I don't really have a use for Discord right now, personally. I went ahead, made an account, downloaded it, created a channel, but I don't really use it right now. Of course, if I had patrons in there that I could talk with, then I would obviously use it. But yeah, so that is it for this. That's going to be it for this video. As per usual, like, favorite, comment, subscribe, share, and I'll see you guys next time. And again, if you feel like checking out my Patreon and becoming a patron, that'd be appreciated. Because, as I said, it gives me the money to be able to go and do a lot of extra stuff that I would not be able to otherwise do. But I will see you guys next time. But until then, goodbye and farewell. And, well, before I leave, in case anyone didn't figure it out, the footage in the background is Battlefield 1. I'm pretty sure I forgot to mention that. But yeah, so now it is going to be goodbye and farewell.
Emirleriniz nedir çavuş? Hücum kıtası askeri. Ona dikkat eyleyin. Aha! Sıhhi yardım çantası. Bir muharebe gemisi gör...
We have lost objective butter. Fifty attackers remain.
Vasıtaya binebilir miyim ahbap? Bir sıhhiyeci görüyorum. Bir düşman muharebe gemisi görüldü. Dreadnought!
We are losing objective objective apples.
Düşman hücum kıtası askeri görüldü. Senin için sıhhi yardım çantası. Sıhhi yardım çantası. Kullan bunu.
We are losing objective butter.
Sıhhi yardım çantası. Tedavi ol.
Twenty attackers remain.
Aha! Sana bir sıhhi yardım çantası. O tarafta bir düşman hücum kıtası askeri var.
We are losing objective apples.
Makinalı tüfek. Çabuk olun.
Yes, we humble soldiers, brethren of the Ottomans, we have shown these heathens over and over what true courage is. But our scouts report of one final attack, so raise your heads once more.
The enemy is being reinforced with a dreadnought.
İyi misin?
Bu Dreadnought sınıfından bir muharebe gemisi. Dikkat eyleyin.
A flame trooper kit is available near your location. We are losing objective butter.
Hücum kıtası askeri görüldü. Makinalı tüfek. Çabuk olun. Düşman tankı. Orada. Tetikte olun. Hücum kıtası askeri. Bir tayyareye doğru bakıyorum. Düşman makinalı tüfeği o tarafta. Şu sıhhi yardım çantasını kullan. tank görüldü. Tayyare tam yukarıda. Düşman sıhhiyeci orada. Aha, düşman tayyaresi. Kimde mühimmat var? Yaralarını tedavi edebilirim. Yaralarım var. Tedavi
We are
edebilirim.
losing objective apples.
Onlara mali olmuş bu mevkiyi müdafaa edin. Şu hedefi zapt etmemiz lazım. Tayyare görüldü.
We have taken objective apples.
Davranın. Düşman hücum kıtası askeri.
We are losing objective apples.
Bir hücum kıtası askerine doğru bakıyorum. Sıhhi yardım çantası. Tedavi ol. Yaralarını tedavi etmeni ister misin? İstersen bu yaraları
We are
tedavi et.
losing objective apples. We have lost objective apples. We have taken objective apples.
Bir düşman tayyaresi tespit edildi. Senin için sıhhi yardım çantası.
Rejoice, brothers. Victory is ours. Your spirits, your determination, and your faith have proved too much for those pagan invaders. You have done your people an honor. The Empire salutes you.
Victory for the Ottomans in the Middle East would have been seen as a sign of renewed strength in the ailing empire. If so, the power gained from controlling the world's oil supply would almost certainly have seen the Ottoman government abandoning their support of the Central Powers.